I was on the field last time I was there.
Sunbelt Syndicate.
Presented by Dano Seasoning. Yum yum, get you some.
What's going on, everybody? We are live from TJ's back deck.
Hey.
What's up, Ben James? I'm going to get this shared around a little bit. Actually, I'm going to get a little light so we can see us a little bit better. And I'm going to blind TJ and myself because we're looking directly at it. Yeah, we got the game on behind us. You're not going to be able to see that, but due to copyright, that's going to be a good thing for all of us.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Because we'll be able to hang out with y'all and watch this game. And I guess, first off, thanks for inviting us over to your house tonight, man.
Absolutely.
We will be taking you downstairs to have a live look at what TJ's cooking up for us. So stay tuned to enjoy that. You don't know who you want to win, AJ? Yeah. I have a feeling there's probably a couple of y'all out there on the east side who don't know who you want to win. I guess let's jump into that first, and we'll get into to our preview here as we get into week 11 in the first matchup that's got Ep State going down to Conway, South Carolina. First of all, a little look at the standings here as we've got the East and West up. I don't know. We got any clear favorites over here that you're thinking of?
So favorite to win the East?
Currently? Yeah, right. Yeah, currently. Let's go with that first.
Yeah, so favorite to win the East currently right now. I mean, it's hard to pick against Georgia Southern, what they've been doing. Georgia Southern right now is probably a class ahead. I mean, Marshall is hot on their tail for sure.
Yeah.
But Georgia Southern has a big time offense. We know this. They can throw the ball all over the yard. And they have been really, really putting on the show these last couple of weeks. So right now, if I had to pick out of the East, I'd say Georgia Southern. They're not a lock, that's for sure. And a lot could happen tonight with this App State Chanticleers game. And we'll kind of see how this thing plays out. But right now, if I had to pick one, I'd say Georgia Southern to win the East. Obviously, I mean, you'd be silly not to pick the Cajuns out of the West currently. ULM has done some good things, but they've kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. I think they're back-to-back losses, right?
Yeah, I think right now they are back-to-back losses at this point. Let me we can probably pull that up here and see exactly. We've been putting this all together, so we've been running around a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got Dave from Locked On joining the evening, gentlemen. You've got App State. I think we'll be okay with that. TJ,
I think I'm okay with it.
You need to show off the shirt tonight too. The line switch from Coastal Net -1 to App State -2. Yeah. And there's TJ's shirt there.
Yosef going on.
There we go. And Ben saying our rivalry match with A-State and Louisiana this weekend. Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that. AJ saying no hate towards y'all, but I kind of want Coastal to win. I can see that because that would, kind of keep everybody at bay from jumping up anywhere near the Eagles. So that makes a little bit of sense to me. So, yeah, that understandable. Over here on the West, I think, we've got 4-0 Louisiana is going to be taking on the team right below them. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I'm leaning Louisiana. I just don't see any real fault. They're very well-rounded so far. And I think that, we got another Coastal vote here. I saw a lot of stuff, though, that has App State winning on Twitter. A lot of the places that were doing polls did have App State. I think it's offense versus offense. There's not a whole lot of
not going to be a whole lot of defense tonight. Whatever the over is, pick the over.
Yeah. Well, actually, so let's jump. We'll come back to the power rankings because I think that's actually what I have next. Yeah. But here it is. In fact, we'll go full screen for a second. They have App State at okay, this was probably 2 hours ago when this graphic was finalized. Right. So it was -2.5 at the time I made this. But you do have App State as the favorite at this point for tonight.
So we talked about this earlier with the spread, right? You don't normally give the home team 3 points. So what they're saying is they're calling it pretty even right now. And I would agree to that. I would agree that this is a pretty even matchup. Like you said, a lot of offense, not a whole lot of defense is going to be happening. So we'll get into this here shortly, and we'll see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't quite. I mean, I guess what is it, 8:07 kickoff times and stuff like that.
They always do weird time.
Got to make sure they get everybody in their seats before all this kicks off. I guess make sure the motorcycles are revving up down there in Conway. That was actually the plan for the two of us This is actually the first show we've ever done live together, so this is pretty cool here. But yeah, we did this instead, which is awesome because we're going to get to experience some of TJ's grilling, which if you following like you should be, thick thighs and large fries on the socials, you've already seen a lot of that, but we are going to see it and experience it firsthand tonight. So should be a good time. Yeah, I don't know, man. The over though is so high, 62.5. I feel like if one team falters,
31 apiece.
True.
I mean, both teams are capable of scoring 30. I don't know that they will.
Yeah.
But I also, like you said, there's not going to be a whole lot of defense played in this game tonight.
Probably also true.
We've been wrong before.
Yeah, it's true.
We've been wrong before. So don't hold us to that. But based on past behaviors, future predictions should turn out in our favor.
Yeah, we're hoping so, at least on our side. I know a lot of you guys were saying you want the other direction. A-State's coming off a bye week, but if A-State plays like they have played against South Alabama, they will win. Yeah, if they could put together a game like that, they are going to stand a pretty good shot there. A-State's total has been saying 60.5.
And speaking of no defense, they start out with a 16-yard gain on first down on a screen pass. Perfectly set up, though. I mean, you look at this. I mean, he's got blockers out in front. Great design play. Missed tackle. You can't have that. So what is this, a 20-yard gain, 22-yard gain? And first play from scrimmage.
Also, they weren't going to gain like 20 more yards, but they also got like 2 or 3 more yards out of those bad arm tackles right there.
Exactly.
Too.
So,
yikes. Teal field. What do y'all think of the teal field too? I don't know how well you can see it on the stream here. It's probably a pretty bright screen, but
I like it just as much as I like the Broncos. What is it? The
Boise.
Ashton Gentry.
Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State.
You don't like the blue turf?
No, I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it. I hated it when I was there. Now this is a little bit closer to green, so it doesn't piss me off as much.
True. Yeah.
But
I was gonna say when I was there in person, it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people from App hate it. And
yeah.
I was. Did you play there at Coastal?
No.
Because I know they came up the mountain and you.
Yeah.
You
I actually only played against Coastal once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in the playoffs.
No,
that was the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we beat them 30-0 before halftime.
Nice. Neil is a big time App State supporter. Maybe surprised that Neil's not at the game, but he hates the teal. That is a decently lengthy trip from the Boone area, or roughly thereabouts. I think Neil technically lives off the mountain, but
about 7 hours roughly.
Is it 7? I thought it was only like 4.
From Boone?
Not from Boone. Yeah, because it's a caddy corner. It's not quite like.
I guess you can take 74.
They don't have to come to us and then down.
Yeah, 74. I think you can take and goes kind of straight there.
Okay. Yeah, from us it's like right at 3.5 at the most.
Yeah.
Well, the Conway it's probably right at 3 because it's not quite at the beach.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And yeah, Central Arkansas has that's probably one of the worst. Have you seen that one? It's purple and gold, silver, gray, whatever you want to call it.
It's nonsense. It's green.
Keep
the grass green.
Okay, he says it's 4 hours from there to Coastal.
Okay.
Yeah, not a terrible drive. Reasonable.
Yeah, not reasonable on a Thursday night if you got work tomorrow.
I've done it. But it is not.
But you're also a road warrior.
Getting home at 2 a.m. is not always the most enjoyable thing we could be doing.
For sure.
Let's see this thing. Oh, they got a first down here.
Good pass rush.
Oh, this is a nice one-handed grab. Oh,
we talked about defense or lack thereof.
Yep. Damn. I do like the clear white versus black look overall for the viewers that are coming in. It's at least like you don't have anything where you're questioning for a split second even who's on which team, like you occasionally do on some of these games here. Got Dominic Ambrose jumping in. What's up, fellas? What's going on, Dominic? Thanks for joining the stream. Trying to get all this out. I keep gotta check Instagram too, so we can make sure no one's jumping on over there. That's the one that, for whatever reason, they won't put the comments up over here and make it easy for me to read. So we gotta check that one separately. Got a little run stop there. What do you think of the helmets with the Josip with the American flag kind of built in?
So I like the idea, and I like the actual helmet. Did not like the presentation.
Oh yeah, I don't know
if you saw the review or reveal. Yep. Yeah, I did not like that. It was, of course, also you're following up Tennessee and South Carolina. So
yeah, that Venom one for Tennessee might be one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, ever.
That was
whoever was responsible for that is not getting paid enough.
Yeah, exactly. Full flag here. Oh, Bronny James assigned to the Lakers G League. That's not surprising, right?
No, he should be.
Yeah.
Let him play, get developed, and
Makes sense. I never thought he was really a pro player to start with.
ECU up on FAU.
Yeah, that was the other game. Oh, we saw somebody was College Football Live. Someone Twitter account put up 2 Sunbelt matches tonight, and they put up ECU and FAU. And
that's not. Well, we played ECU enough to where it could confuse some people.
Oh, well, I said, does this guy know the future? And I put a little wing face because a lot of people want ECU in this conference for a multitude of reasons, but football's a decent one because they're down right now, but they're about to gather themselves.
Well, and they haven't always been down,
right?
You know what I mean? They've had some really good years, especially like I think in the past couple of years.
Yeah,
like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they were really good.
Yeah. Was CJ Johnson, right? That was in the NFL for many years, a running back that went there. Mm-hmm. Was he from around the area of the state you were from?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to say yes to that.
Oh, okay.
I think Google knows.
We might have to look that one up. Oh, they get in? Yep. Touchdown, Sean. We're probably behind some of y'all. We're running the this is YouTube TV, right?
Yes.
No free ads, YouTube. Shoot us something. Can y'all go to another matchup? Well, we're going to get started on the live one, but we certainly will be going to some of the other matchups as we go along. What we can do is we can get this one off the screen. We can go back and talk a little bit about our rankings here, our updated power rankings. TJ, while I continue to share this around, why don't you go first and just kind of run through where you put these guys and why as we see that there was a score here in this game.
Yeah, so the biggest 2 standouts for me are Marshall, right? Marshall has played really well over the last several weeks, and they've earned the respect of moving up. Now, they jumped up from, I think, the 8th spot to me for the 4th spot. Now, that a lot of that is them, and then some of it is what other teams did not do, such as ODU. ODU fans had a bone to pick with me a couple weeks ago. Wonder how that turned out when you guys played against us at App State. So did not play really well at all. ODU didn't against App State, which they were able to jump a couple spots for me. App was. I have to honor ODU being a little bit higher than App, just based on what ODU's done and what their record-wise is. But other than that, I mean, everything else is fairly the same, I think, for us. Troy jumped up a couple spots. The head-to-head with Troy and Coastal obviously gave them a little bit of a boost. And, everybody else is pretty much self-explanatory. Raging Cajuns are, I mean, right now I don't foresee anybody jumping them. I mean, unless something just catastrophic happens, they're prohibited favorites, and especially in the West. Yeah.
No, they definitely are a pretty clear favorite in my mind as well. We can maybe we'll do that. Kind of keep it up a little bit there. Oh, he said, again, A-State should be above South Alabama, and I still don't see why. Well, maybe we'll find out. But
yeah, that's going to play itself out.
Yeah, we both. You know what's funny? I didn't realize that. Looking at the graphic before, but we do have South Alabama and A-State in the same exact spots at 7 and 8. So, we actually have quite a similar outlook there with a couple of the top teams jumping up with Georgia Southern, and you got Marshall making a big jump, like you said. I had JMU kind of moving up on a bye week, but that's mainly because some of the teams behind them lost.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I don't think for me they didn't really move at all.
Yeah, which I think is. I didn't really want to move them. It was more the other movement that caused them to kind of move around there. I had App and Troy kind of jumping up there with App's win over Georgia State, or God, who am I thinking of? ODU. Yeah. Jeez, but I still don't think you played that game 9 times. I'm not sure if we're going to get the same outcome. So
that's fair.
And that's why ODU is still above App. Obviously, they're going to make this massive jump above them.
Right.
You've got the same type of disparity between the two, kind of like I do. But yeah, I mean, Troy beating Coastal by 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Texas State. I didn't really punish them too much, I guess, because they're kind of in a spot that you've got them in now at 10, dropping just a little bit. I'm got them at 9, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a fairly accurate. I mean, as the season's gone along, it's gotten a little bit easier, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple matchups where, Troy and Coastal feel like they're kind of separate with the standings, but the power rankings can be different because, again, they just win head-to-head. But the disparity between them may not be the 14 points we just saw every time.
Right.
So that could make make a little sense there. And Ben is letting us have his feelings on here, saying, my feeling is since A-State is basically 2 weeks off on Saturday for next week's show, A-State will move up. Yeah, I mean, if they win over Louisiana, they're definitely moving up.
Oh, for sure.
No doubt about that. That's the cool thing. Again, like standings, they might only move one spot if they beat Louisiana. But in power rankings, they may move 4 or 5 spots with a victory like that. So,
and it's all, too, based on who we think would win, right? Like, Dom and I are never going to be – we're not knowers all and seers all of all things Sunbelt. We're telling you what our opinions are and what we think based on what we've seen. Right. And the eye test is the eye test. There's a lot of, right now, there's a couple of teams that are ranked higher than some other teams that I don't think head to head would win. So it's just a matter of, what they do on Saturdays. And like I said, that A-State game, it's going to, that'll determine itself. I mean, those two could flip flop very easily this Saturday. Yeah,
no doubt about it. We got some movement there with Joey on a first down run. Take this off the screen here for a minute and, put us on here. There we go. Now you guys got us loud and clear here. And chicken timing, we need to check on that relatively soon, or what are you thinking?
Let's give it maybe another 10 minutes and see what we got.
All right, we'll watch this drive as they talk about Sean Clark there. What are your boys that used to play still saying about that? Joey with a nice run here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the feeling has been the same, right? Here's the thing. We're spoiled as a fan base, right? We are used to winning since literally 2005, right? This is, I think, probably the worst year we've had since then. I can't think of a worse year.
Only year that we had worse probably was a year we still ended up qualifying for a bowl, but that was that terrible start where they lost like Liberty in overtime and all that.
And then we ended up winning like 4 games in a row. Yeah, 4 or 5
kind of similar to last year, really, actually.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, this one feels worse because the expectations were so much higher.
Right.
At least that year we were all like we were gonna go through some learning curves and some issues, trying to make the jump. But
But I think this one, this is again, it's hard to say. You never want to advocate for somebody losing their job, right? Like we're not good. Right. We're not a good football team. And
offensively, it's still not good, or you think it's just not consistent?
And to be good, you have to be good all the time, right? There's teams that can be good in spurts. We're one of those teams that we have the potential to be very. We're good at on a lot of one-off games, but consistency is what we've been lacking.
Yeah.
And so, we put together a good game versus ODU, but how many of those games can we have? Can we have a back-to-back?
Right.
And that would determine whether or not, we make that kind of a jump. Now, we would still have to win out.
Yeah, and we need help. Yep.
And we need some help.
Yeah, we can't do it by ourselves. So you've put yourself behind the A-ball in that regard, which is never easy to overcome. Although, again, it happened kind of last year. You got a little help. You did what you needed to do.
Right.
It's not impossible, but
yikes,
you got to have Marshall lose like at least 2 games. But I think to be comfortable, you have to have them lose like every game left.
And that's not going
to happen.
Unless they just get some catastrophic injuries.
Yeah.
Which I don't wish on anybody.
No, absolutely not. Okay, this kid, Armani Marshall, finally seems to have won the number 1 running back job, which is like, at this point, I've been looking for that all season. ODU, he came alive.
Yeah.
And
it's almost one of those too little, too late kind of things. You wish you'd had this at the beginning of the year. That said, though, play calling doesn't help. Running the ball on first down 95% of the time, probably that's a bit high. Right. At least 80% of the time.
Yeah.
You turn yourself into a predictable football team.
Yep.
And that is the problem that we're having is we don't do enough on first down to give ourselves an advantage. Right. Like right now it's first down. We should go play action pass here. I'd be shocked if we did.
Let's see. Oh, okay,
look at us.
You called it.
Look at me predicted. And that's
what a great
catch. What a great play. See?
What a beautiful catch.
I kind of know a little bit about football.
Yeah, you know what he's talking about. See, that's why we got a guy who formerly did it on the show for you. Right. I'm going to catch up on some of these comments here. Ben says, A-State, Louisiana State back tonight. He's giving us some history. Basketball shows will go live, Ben. That's true. We are working on a date because of how busy schedules are. Doing this show this week was priority. For football, it's still priority, okay? Because that is football is still king.
Basketball season
until otherwise. Yeah. So yeah, we will definitely get to that. Artie Cat jumping on.
What's
Also,
up,
to see you guys
Artie?
in the same room doing the show. Yeah, he only lives like, I don't know, 45 minutes, but I'll tell you what, with 5 o'clock traffic
That's a long 45
in the
minutes.
Raleigh area,
That's a long 45 minutes.
I'll be
That's for
excited
sure.
that I don't have to go home the same way I can use the major
Right.
highway. It had
Yeah.
me come the back ways. I don't think I even told you that. I was winding through everything. I'm like,
Oh, really?
I'm gonna hit a deer. I'm gonna hit a deer.
Yeah, and you're likely to in this area.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
sure.
Oh, they just. I think we had a turnover.
Turnover.
Who came over with that? Barber. Big old 95 Barber. Coastal student section definitely showed up tonight. Y'all
And
were
they
going
always do.
crazy at the.
Yeah.
Did you see the Sports Center? Were you watching that at
Yeah.
all today?
Yeah.
Apparently they were loud and. Oh man, they're going nuts on the sideline.
Game's not over, guys.
Nope.
Game's not over. Calm down.
A little too much too early. I mean, you
Yeah,
get
it
that
seems like
kind
a
of
lot.
play in a fourth quarter. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but
that seems like a lot.
looks a little early for that. Did you see that one celebration they did? They got like a little beach set up for those that are watching too. And I guess like some. Oh, let's see this play. How they lost it here. Oh, he just gets hit. Oh man.
Yeah, he comes out.
No chance that hand was going forward. Is it?
Yeah, no.
Tough look.
I mean, it was
tough
coming
look.
out before his hand even came up.
Yeah, that is a tough look. But yeah, they have this little beach alcove with sand and Adirondack chairs that are in the teal color of the team.
Okay.
And there was actually like a family in it.
Okay.
I think it was. I want to say it was a defensive touchdown. It might have been offensive. The
Hmm.
guy, the wide receiver or corner, whoever it was, like literally like almost pushes kids out of the way, sits in the chair,
Really?
does a little celebration, and then whoever scored on the opposing team after that, I think it was a Sunbelt matchup. They went in and did a celebration on the chair. So now they're wondering if it's going to become a celebration for everybody as they play there.
Wow.
So I was
Okay.
like, that's not bad.
Yeah,
you
not
got that
terrible.
Lambeau leap, you got the beach.
Yeah,
the
that's
beach play.
not a problem.
So yeah, we'll see if that happens to make an appearance tonight or not. But definitely some interesting aspects to that there, and something that they might have a little fun with down the line. Oh yeah, we definitely could ask people what days work for them, but honestly, you never know. We put out the audio version of this. It's usually pretty successful in that regard. So the video aspect, it's occasionally going to have to flex. And we like to do some fun and different stuff. So this was the first time we've been able to get together and do this type of thing, which is, we've been talking about it for a long time. And at some point we'll probably do one during the daylight hours so we can really just set up on a full-blown cooking show.
And it'd be nice to do it on a Saturday.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some noon games, some 3:30 games, something like that.
Yeah. Jump around on the little YouTube fourplex screen grab again. No free ads. YouTube. We'll take some monetary supplemental income whenever you want to throw it our way. We appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Or just an ad-free television. That'd be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would definitely take a little off my bill every month.
Let's do that.
That would be great. Artie's saying it's abrupt ending to Coastal Stadium budding until. And then he says, budding up the road makes it so weird besides the field. That the road being right up behind. Now, there is a plan to reconstruct that and reroute that road.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we may have talked about this in months and months and months.
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe
say,
even last
right,
season when we talked about it. But yeah, they do have a plan to kind of reconstruct that whole thing. They got an indoor practice facility coming. I think that whole road will literally disappear. But it is weird, right?
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen, and maybe you've played in other stadiums. I mean, you've seen a road like that close to a stadium like that before?
No, it seems odd. And I parked across the street and walked across the street, and I was right on campus.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is odd.
Yeah. It's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah. But then you get on campus, and then you got to walk like 3 miles to get to the stadium.
Yeah.
So
it's nice and flat, which is
great.
a nice change for some of us.
Yeah.
James Madison and App State and Marshall. I think OD is pretty flat actually, but their stadium is vertical.
Yeah.
Like it just comes out of the ground, obviously.
Okay.
James Madison is the same way, actually. Whereas App State's it does rise, but it's actually kind of built in there.
out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking another look at that bad fumble there. Yeah, come away with no points. That hurts.
Yeah.
In a game like this, when you're on the road and they've gone up 7-0 already.
And losing that much
good.
field position on the fumble certainly hurt.
Ooh, good fake there. A little better tackling.
Yeah.
What do you think of the uniforms as a whole? You like the stripes on the side that kind of don't go anywhere. I've heard a lot of people not a lot. I've heard a couple of people complain that like they don't really like wrap into the rest of the uniform, I guess.
I don't have a preference as it relates to that. I mean, icy whites are always clean, right?
Yeah.
Icy whites and then all black. That's always clean to me.
Yeah.
Anything that's solid, I'm always going to be a fan of.
Nice. Yeah, I don't mind the sleeve stripes. I think it's actually a good look. Gives it some pizzazz as we kind of got off the screen right now. We've got ULM's jersey over here in the whites, kind of the same type of wrap.
Right.
It's actually a different, they have Adidas for their sponsor. So this is Nike here for app. So it's a little different, but similar in the same regard, I guess.
Yeah.
But Jason's saying he can't stand the color of the field, so I'm listening to Adam Whitten and Braden Turner. Hey, you know BT, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Mountaineers.
My guy.
Yeah, so which position was he?
Slot receiver.
Okay, so
and then he moved out to X my sophomore year. But he started out, I was actually his backup my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was a year ahead of you, or were you guys?
So he was a senior.
Okay.
Or no, he moved to X halfway through the season because he was a senior when I was a freshman.
Oh, dang. Okay. I didn't realize the disparity was that big.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Yeah, see, TJ chooses to be bald by choice.
Yeah.
BT, no, I'm just kidding.
No, definitely not bald by choice. It started at like 17 years old.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I guess that's true. When I pulled up a picture of you from the roster, you were already.
Oh, absolutely.
But it looks good.
Before the first game at App State, I was bald.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not mad about it.
No. People can pull it off. I'm not one. You don't want to see this head bald. There's a reason there's hair on this head, man. And we will get to more previews, Ben. Yeah, we're kind of jumping around here. There's a long way to go, and we want to spread the love out on the site show at App State. Would be cool someday. Tailgate theme. Yeah, we definitely want to go on site at a school. There's all kinds of aspects that come with that.
Yeah.
Permission.
For sure. That's the first
setup.
one.
I will just go ahead and tell you we are on a literal tailgate table that TJ generously donated for this endeavor. And I brought my 3-screen setup. So we are set up pretty officially, if you could see behind us. But yeah, getting this to literally go somewhere else and setting it up outside with people milling about with cords and everything else, you got to have permission to set up where you can stream with Wi-Fi. So it would be a little bit more cumbersome, but yeah, we'd love to do it someday.
Oh, for sure.
But we both have young kids in sports too that typically go on Saturdays, and that's
the rub.
It's got to be the first priority. Yeah. Otherwise, we get in trouble with the wives. So,
speaking of rubs, want to take a look?
Yeah, let's jump down there. we are going to stay on with the mics, as you see here, but we are going to have to put you off on the camera. Otherwise, you're going to see all the jostling around. But we are going to take you downstairs underneath the deck with us right now to go check out some of this chicken. So let me just throw something up here on screen, and we can take you down there to check that out. Put this one up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll go full screen. Again, you're going to still hear us, but we are going to move downstairs and unattach from this setup and get you down there so you can see what's going on down there.
Let's see what we got. Uh-oh. Good run. Big stick, though.
All right. We are on the move. Already saying pigs in a blanket. Yummy. Yes. Very much so.
All right.
Very much so.
I got to make sure there's no deer back here eating. And I'm disturbing them. I got yelled at by some deer earlier.
If there's any more deer, we'll tell them we'll make some venison here soon.
I'm sure that's what they'd love to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got to get that on there. Hold on, Mike.
All right.
All right, we are back. Let's see if we can get some light on here for y'all.
All right, so we talked about some thick thighs. We certainly have some. Got some in the smoker here going. And I know there's going to be some people out here saying, oh, you're cheating. You're using a pellet smoker. Guys, it's nighttime, all right? I don't have time to stoke a fire. But I do have a big boy back there who is a stick burner. You can't see him in the background. But is a big boy back there.
There's only like 5 grills over here for the grill master himself.
Yeah, we got some nice little wings going. Yeah. And yeah, we should be maybe 10, 15 minutes away from some grub. So we'll get to some more previews. And yeah. And we'll get everything going. Look at that. Ooh, that's some nice color. That is
way different color than what we started with just a little while. Well, I don't know. I guess it has been like an hour or so.
Absolutely. So some good color going on. And like I said, I am on my pellet smoker for you guys that are traditional stick burners. Leave me alone in the comments. I can do stick burning too. We just don't.
Yeah. All right, we'll make our way back up now. Try not to die on these stairs.
Please don't die. My insurance doesn't cover death.
Well, you don't know until you test it out.
Don't be the first.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. At least I'm sporting the shirt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go get you one of these.
Yeah, I need to get one.
collegefootballdogs.com. And give us a second while we hook back up here again. We'll jump right back into those previews. Oh, okay. So while I'm doing all this, Artie wants to know when and how did you start cooking, which your wife was telling me a little bit about before you came back out, before we started. So it's a very cool story. So
when you say start cooking, you mean when I was younger or for money, I guess?
Wait, you get paid?
No, it started out just a couple years back. I had it's a church that one of my guys, Devin Moore, his dad was working for, and he asked me, hey, I got this group of people. I know you do some grilling. Would you mind coming out, cooking for a little bit? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And I didn't expect to get paid. They ended up paying me. And then a bunch of people asked, hey, why don't you keep doing this? And so I started doing it, and now I do some weekend catering stuff. I don't do anything during the week. I do have a full-time job that I manage on a regular basis. So have to do that and have to stay, afloat for that. So, but yeah, got into it a while back, and
he does say
love it
both as a youngster and until now. And then Ben was telling us not to eat on stream. We got to do a little taste test on stream.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to eat on stream. So you can hang that up.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, you trying to focus on doing this a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, when I was younger, I used to watch my dad all the time do a lot of cooking, and I used to always kind of be his little helper. Always want to know what was going on, and started getting into some kitchen cooking with my mom when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And then I moved into some outside grilling stuff with my dad when I was around probably, I would say 12, 13 years old, and just never looked back. It's always been a passion. I always loved food. And yeah, it's something that I'm going to continue to do probably for a long time.
Yeah. Without this smells, I know y'all can't smell it. There's no smellable thing through them. You'll just have to take my word for it as I struggle to get this cam back in. We're going to jump you back up here, I promise. Uh-oh, Coastal's breaking free. 13, well, 13 nothing, I guess now, right? Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
This is what we were afraid of.
The worst has come to light.
Yep. The worst is here, except if you're a Coastal fan and you're loving life right now.
Right.
Let's get this thing back up. Come on. This is what you get for live broadcasting.
Yeah. It happens.
Yes, it does. There we go. Now it's moving. Now we're cooking with grease, quite literally. Oh, okay, here we go. Don't chew with your mouth open, as Ben says. Yeah, we don't want to do that on a regular basis, not let alone tonight. Do you like Texas-style barbecue? Rub and smoke. I'm going to start this cam back just so
I don't mind Texas-style. Yeah, I don't mind Texas-style barbecue. Yeah. Texas-style barbecue is actually pretty good. I know they do a lot of dry rubs and stuff in Texas, so I don't mind it. I prefer, Eastern North Carolina because that's where I'm from, so I'm biased. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Texas rubs. Kansas City does a good dry rub too. I've actually got some Kansas City rubs in the house, but most of my stuff is Dano's.
There you go.
Thank you, Dano's.
There we go. Gotta love the Dano's. Quality little rub. They got a new purple top coming out. We'll throw them a little love in that regard. I don't know what the flavor is yet, but they have the setting as like a little bit of a what do I want to say here? Like a Cajun background, I guess, like a swamp background. So it makes me think it's going to be a Cajun inspired flavor, I guess, is what I'm trying to look for there.
Yes.
Change the. There we go. Now you can see us better and more clear as we struggle through this. Again, we need like a producer to run all this crap so me and him could just move around freely. But thanks for joining us and sticking it out with us.
Don't worry, the next time we go down, the camera won't come with us, and that'll be me taking the meat off. And then you'll get a very clear picture in the light while we eat.
Yeah, there you go.
Or at least taste it.
Yeah, oh yeah, we definitely taste testing. I'm taste testing this. Been wanting a plate for a while. I know BT was on the show and I said, when's his plate coming? So
I know, right?
I get mine first.
Yeah. But BT's had my cooking before. So
okay. Well, that's fair then. Warren says, does this mean Troy is better than App State? Back in the day, you could compare teams that way. Right now, I mean, if Troy thinks they can say they can figure it out, again, this is still early. You talk to people about how early it is in a game where you just get, here we go. Look, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, things like this happen, and then you're like, well, we'll see. So just broke off, I think it was a 30-yard run, Monty Marshall. So I don't know. We got to wait until this game plays out. And then also what we have to do is see the margin of victory, right? And how teams win, because the eye test is much, I mean, rankings tell you one thing, and obviously win-loss records matter, right?
Yeah.
You are what your record says you are.
Yep.
But my eye test, right? My eyes tell me that, it could tell me something completely different than what the standings tell me. So if App wins and how they win, right. Or if Coastal wins and how they win, that all matters when you talk about what team can beat who and win and that kind of thing. And then also where you play matters.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've always said and been a proponent of, if you're a good football team, you can play on the moon.
Yeah, you can win anywhere, right? Yep.
So, but in some aspects it does matter. Most football players, they don't care where they play. If there's grass, let's play with. Yeah. Very
true. We'll jump into a preview probably here in a minute. As soon as that first quarter ends, that'll probably be a good time to jump through a couple of them.
Sure.
And so I can get that queued up for us here and see which one we're going to talk about next, which would be 12 noon kickoff on Saturday between Texas State and ULM. That's actually a bigger matchup.
And that's going to be a pretty good game.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a sneaky good matchup.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we'll throw that one up there as soon as this first quarter ends. Should just be, well, hopefully App State can get a first down here and keep this clock running. Otherwise, we may have another commercial break before we get to it. He already says pray for us.
Jeez.
It's
looking bleak.
Well, it's the same thing for App State right now, Artie, so it's not much better our way.
Yeah. Well, but it's early.
It is.
And we'll see how things go. Let's see what we got.
Oh, and Castle's back in the game here. Oh no. Oh, that was picked.
That was picked off.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that's 2 turnovers.
Yep. So pray for us too, Artie. There, just include us in yours, and we'll just hope that it turns around for the best for all of us.
Might as well jump to these previews because this is not going to be exciting.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put this up on screen. So we've got ULM being the home team hosting Texas State, but Texas State is the favorite at 9 points right here. Surprised by that total?
9 is a lot. 9 is a whole lot, especially considering how both these teams have played. Now, ULM, again, they're coming off 2 back-to-back losses.
Yeah.
So I think ESPN is kind of considering that in their spread and the way that they play, right? Because we talked about it earlier. It's not losing, it's how you lose.
Right.
And they have not played very well.
True.
So,
in fact, their best game was probably Marshall last week.
Right.
And they still didn't win that one.
Right. So was it a lot of smoke and mirrors at the beginning of the season? We don't know. We got to see how things. I mean, what is there? Still 3 weeks left in the season, right?
Yep.
So we've got to wait and kind of see how things play out. What is the remainder of their schedule?
That's what I was just pulling. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I was just pulling that up to say, like,
Let's get a
how
look.
much of the meat of their schedule are they finally in here?
Right.
So, oh, yeah. So it's Texas State this week, Auburn next week, which Auburn's not a good football team this year. Don't make any mistake.
No,
but
they're
still
beatable.
an SEC team with
Sure.
really good recruits on
Sure.
the roster. So you can't just go in there and think that just because you're a better record, you're
Right.
go in there and be an Auburn team at their place. Then they go to Ben's team at A-State on 11/23 and finish up the season with Louisiana, which is obviously that rivalry game where, as most people say, anything can happen. But if you're not looking hot at that point, that's a scary outcome in that one.
I mean, I got them going 2-2. Which would put them at an overall record of 7-4. Bowl game,
Yeah.
not much more than that.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen these last 2 weeks. Then again, it could change.
Well,
right?
and also, I think if you said that to any ULM fan before this season started, they would love that.
They'd
outcome.
absolutely take it. Yeah.
And if they have a chance to beat Auburn,
yeah.
I mean, before the season started, you're probably like laughing if someone says that to you.
Yeah.
So now you're on the train that, like, dude, we can beat these guys.
Right. Exactly.
100%.
100%.
Like Texas was not a good game early in the season when you lose 51-3.
Yeah, but everybody would lose 51-3,
right?
Except Georgia.
Yeah. So you've got a really good chance to go in there and play very well against Auburn.
Right.
Even if you don't win, but you could put on a great showing because that defense is pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They've
hung their hat on defense all year.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they're not lighting the scoreboard up.
Nope. I mean, yeah, it's tough in this league to consistently do that when you don't have the best quarterback play. And we know Booty was replaced, and they went to Armenta, and he's been doing better, but his statistics aren't blowing you away.
For sure.
So, you don't have necessarily the most dynamic guy back there at the quarterback position. All right. So I don't know, though. You taking the 9 points?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think it's closer than that.
Yeah. It's going to be much closer than that.
You also got a question, Jordan Cloud, we got to remember it was early last week. So you've got time, but he did get knocked out. Mm-hmm. And does he go? If he goes, is he full strength?
Right.
If he takes a little bump, does he get replaced?
And they're probably factoring that in.
Yeah. And the backup came in, looked formidable, to get the job done if need be. But I don't know if he's going to come in and win you a game.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Talking about Dexter Williams transferring out of Georgia Southern today.
Yeah, that was a news headline.
Yeah, that's not one they want. I mean, come back and help you win 2 games. That's not something you want to see there. Artie says kickoff early as hell, but maybe it's good due to the heat. Yeah, I mean, is it 80+ degrees here today in North Carolina?
79. Unseasonably hot.
Yeah.
But I guess global warming doesn't exist. But whatever.
Yeah. Ben says, I think jinxed App State while watching. It seems like we've done that a couple times, I guess, this year.
I don't know if we jinxed them because I don't know that I picked them. So
I would have. I probably would have picked them to cover the 2.5 just because of what they did offensively last week, and the defense could be decent enough. But I mean, we've seen this. We've witnessed Coastal's atmosphere.
Yeah,
was 2 seasons ago. Now we were both down there.
Mm-hmm.
This guy makes his way down to the sideline as a former player. It's like if you look the part, I don't know. I guess you still get let in. Me, not so much. So
I just try to stay in the weight room.
Lord, by that, Texas State should be the underdog here. I don't know if I'd say they should be the underdog. I just don't think they should be favored.
Yeah, I don't know
9.
about the underdog, but certainly not by 9.
No, like a 3-point, maybe, but 9 points on the road.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've seen enough from Texas State to say. Well, they've had spurts
injuries.
where they're really impressive.
Well, we talked about injuries too, right?
That's
like
true.
That just seems like a lot.
It does. It seems like just too much.
But we've been wrong before.
That's true. We have. And
we were
ULM's also surprised the hell out of us.
Yeah,
before,
exactly.
So.
And I mean, we were wrong about the spread with ODU and Georgia Southern.
Yeah. And wow. We were way wrong on that.
So we could absolutely be wrong.
Yeah, we definitely can be wrong and have been probably more often than not.
Yeah,
but
because we are not professionals.
Well, also that's what helps make it the Fun Belt. There's a nickname for a reason. GJ and crew are their usual upbeat selves, so we'll see what happens Saturday. Big games haven't been our forte this year. Yeah, it does seem like the big ones are the letdowns. Although Arizona State was a little less of a letdown. I think Arizona State's a very good football team.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not. I mean, they dropped 2 after that game, I think, but they were undefeated after beating Texas State, so they looked like a very good ranked team. It was 91 down there in Texas. Jeez.
God.
Finally cooling off. Finally cooling off.
Right.
I could never live in Texas. I'll tell you that. You could see the complexion here, freckly, ginger.
Not just that, I'm sweating tonight, and it's 75.
Yeah, it's cooled down a little now.
Yeah, it's nice now. But
when you were in front of the grill, I'm sure you were a little bit
Oh, my
hotter
God,
now.
yes.
But yeah, that was a little bit of what we got going on. They're about to score another touchdown. Oh, look, defense coming through a little bit here.
Put that ball out.
Gang tackle there. We haven't seen enough of those here lately, so they stop them.
Or just tackles in general.
Yeah, we got a little bit of pressure last week against ODU. That ODU team was moving the ball though.
Yeah,
they got themselves into trouble a little bit. A couple too many fumbles, interception. One interception that ended the game. All right. While we're seeing if they can get in on 2nd and goal here, is that Vasco still back there? Yeah. Split out.
Let's see what we got.
Tight end, or is that just a wide out coming back in the backfield?
Good D. It's a good. Well, is
it?
It?
Yeah, they let him have another yard or two after it looked like they stopped him.
3-yard stop. We'll take it.
Oh.
Especially considering 3rd and goal, holding to a field goal, 17-0. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Considering how we play.
Yeah.
It should be much worse.
Yeah, they need to put some points up on the board. Speaking of teams that need to put points up on the board, you've got Southern Miss hosting Marshall, a 13.5-point spread in this one on ESPN Plus on Saturday. Again, these first 2 games are spread out a little bit. That's nice. You almost get the completion of that first game before this one starts.
You jump into the second
Always appreciate that. You can see which one ending while you come and check on this one. A total of 54.5 points for the over-under right now.
I guess they're saying Marshall's going to score 40.
I could see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could absolutely see it. You got a Southern Miss team who's had some decent defensive efforts, actually. I mean, if you go back to that James Madison game where they played in Harrisonburg, I was actually impressed with the defensive look. Even the offensive output, they had, we talked about this on the show, like 2 touchdowns, I think, or massive gains on at least one, and certainly a touchdown on another for called back for penalties.
Yeah, but the problem is they can't do it consistently.
True.
And so the issue that I see happening is, they start out and Ole Miss, Jesus.
It's close. It's still in the same state.
Yeah. They get a couple good stops. Maybe first quarter, right?
Yeah.
They played pretty well. Problem is offense isn't going to stay on the field long enough. And defense is going to get tired, wear down. 3rd quarter, 4th quarter comes, and that's when the onslaught's going to happen, in my opinion, right? You might have a halftime score of, I don't know, 17-10, right?
Right.
And then it gets 24. And then it gets, 31. And then it's a snowball after that.
Right.
Because the defense is just going to be too tired because they can't score enough points. They're not going to keep up with Marshall.
It's a good point.
So 13.5 is, in my opinion, kind of low.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I'd be very comfortable with this spread. I know when we had, I actually remember, I don't know if it was 24.5 or 24, but that was the spread with James Madison and Southern Miss.
Yeah.
And remember, you actually were more comfortable with that. I said not to do that.
Right.
That was right after the head coaching change.
Yep.
Where they had the former tight end recruiter, I forget his name, I'm going blank on it right now. He hasn't been there long enough for me to remember right now.
Right.
But he came in and I just said, do we think we have enough of an offensive look that changes? There's not enough stuff known on a film yet because we're going to have a different head guy calling these plays. And they did just enough. But, James Madison also hasn't been themselves.
That's fair.
So, and now they've had a bye week. So now we're going to see what they come out and look like this week. But
speaking of JMU, Indiana is killing it.
Oh, man.
I mean, they look. Jeez.
Yeah, not to get off topic, but we will get off topic because we never do that here. But what about them, BYU, getting, I think, blatantly disrespected in this first poll? Because I
think who you play matters.
It does.
I think who you play matters. And I think, which is why I don't know why Indiana's ranked so high. Because, I mean, how many ranked teams have they played?
Well, my thing is you can hear a plane coming in or going out of RDU here over top of us, I'm sure. But I think the thing I'm thinking about that has been harped on a little bit nationally too is how impressively they've won, though.
Yeah.
Think about where Miami's ranked right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've struggled to win a number of those close games. They've won.
I mean, look at what Duke did to them last week.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you've got Indiana, who's won every game by 2 touchdowns or more.
Or more, yeah.
And some of these aren't teams that they beat at least Illinois, right?
Did they play and Illinois has been pretty good.
Right. They've been ranked at least once or twice.
Illinois beat Michigan, and they beat they beat Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin?
I think you're right. I think they did.
And it was in back-to-back weeks too.
Was it?
They
Okay.
beat a couple, whoever, they were
Right.
good teams.
If only we had a computer in front of us, but no.
Right, I know, right?
But yeah, I mean, that was, again, that's kind of a cool thing. There's a number of Sunbelt guys, not just from James Madison,
Right.
that are on that Indiana team. So it's kind of cool to see them go in there and do well.
Yeah.
Signetti being there, again, love him or hate him. You know, he's done what he said he's done. Which
I'm
is just
happy
win.
for him for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Already saying Southern Miss on a possible Sunbelt worst record ever if they lose the rest, I believe, and time's running out on them. Yeah. And their downfall is really their offense.
Yeah,
Like you
they
said,
can't score.
They can't
They
score
cannot
enough.
score.
And,
I mean, they do well in the first quarter
right.
because who doesn't, right? You come out, you're high, everything's, and
Yep.
then you just your defense can't keep up.
Nope.
If they can't get off the field, if your offense can't convert on third down, and they have a lot of third downs,
Yeah.
then what do you expect? Third downs and turnovers, right?
Oh, yeah,
What
turnovers.
what do you think is going to happen?
We talked about the disparity between touchdown throws
Right.
and interceptions with this team. You remember that? It was really,
it's
really
not
bad.
good.
I'm going to pull that up actually while we're sitting here too. What do we got going on over here now?
17-0, but I think App has the ball,
Okay.
so we'll see. Breaking off some. I mean, we're running the ball really well. We just turnovers are killing us.
Yeah.
Turnovers
Finally
are
running the ball
absolutely-
really
yeah.
well, but we can't.
Turnovers
seem to,
are just absolutely destroying us.
Yeah.
Both by Aguilar, which is, I don't want to say uncommon, right? But I mean, he's had some turnovers this year.
Yeah.
Most have been when he's trying to force things.
Okay, so I couldn't remember this off the top of my head, but it literally looks like it hasn't changed since the last time we checked it. It is 4 touchdowns as a team. This is not just one quarterback. This is as a team. 4 touchdowns to 10 interceptions thrown for Southern
nuts.
Miss.
That's nuts.
You're not going to win games like that.
No.
Oh, what a catch!
Yeah, I mean,
Is
we're
that
moving.
Jackson?
They're moving the football. Turnovers are. I mean,
Yeah.
You have 2 turnovers inside the 10-yard line or in the red zone. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Oh, a fake to no one. Ooh,
He threw that up on a wing.
that was
press.
gutsy by both
Yeah.
Aguilar and Jackson on
Well,
that.
that should have been picked.
All right,
that-
so also let's that play for those of you watching this as we're watching it too, and you can't see it perfectly through here, but is that the kind of play that like a year or two ago, maybe further than that secondary guy, what was he, a corner or
For Coastal?
yeah, was probably not afraid to make a big hit.
Yeah, no,
But now you got to let up and let that guy
Mhm.
make a play almost. You
right.
know,
Yeah. Another good run, 9 yards on first down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're matriculating down the field.
yeah.
Just got to put the ball in the end zone.
I love, and I'll say this, and I said this to Seth as I was sitting beside him and my dad last weekend in Boone. I love how violently he runs the ball.
Yeah.
He is by far the biggest and most physical running back on App State's
Yeah.
roster.
He's 6'2", 220?
I think he's short. I think
Is
he's
he
shorter
6'2"?
than that. Let me pull up on Monty Marshall as we're talking here. Castle's kind of similar, but Castle's more of that like old school fullback who's just kind of not quite as elusive as Marshall is to
Yeah.
me. And then you got to remember,
Kind of like a Hunter Lepke for Dallas Cowboys.
yeah, that's true.
All right.
Let's see where Marshall's at here. I'm going to go to statistics because I know he'll be right at the top at this point.
Right.
And in fact, yeah, he is literally the leading rusher after last week. He took over Kanye at that point. Kanye's from around this area of the state,
Yep.
not too far.
Is that Albemarle? No.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He was 6'2", 225. Okay,
That's
so
what
he's
I
bigger
thought.
than
Yeah,
I
he's
thought.
a big boy.
I will say that one thing I remember is when he first transferred in. He transferred in he's a Wake Forest transfer, and when he first transferred in, there was a picture taken at one of the waterfalls. You know, where the
Mhm.
team goes in and jumps in. You guys do that, or was that not really a tradition?
And it's not a tradition.
Okay.
Like, maybe it just started if it is a tradition, but we didn't do it. But we know where it is.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
never did it because I'm a beach kid. I'm not jumping in a lake. It's gross.
Yeah. It's probably freezing cold too.
Yeah,
even
that too.
even in
Yeah.
like the warmer months.
Right.
But yeah, he was pictured. Did you see this picture?
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's pictured with like the linemen. I mean, there's other guys. There's wide
Right.
receivers and stuff too. But he is like the biggest dude, the most cut dude out of the whole. Not the cut part being surprising, right? I mean, it's linemen. They're not cut guys typically.
Right.
But he was just as. I mean, he looked like he could play line,
Right.
and he's running back. So you knew he was going to be dangerous when he got in there and did all that. Hardy saying those NIL all you can eat biscuits are working miracles for the herd. Yeah.
Right.
They are doing that. They are definitely doing that. Dude is down 17, acts like he just saved the world. I don't know who he's talking about specifically, but that was definitely a app defensive player that he's mentioning there with Nick saying that. Yeah, I don't know.
Get a score and a stop. This could be different at halftime.
Yeah, that's very true. Especially if you put Strom into.
He's got him.
Oh,
dang it!
That's your guy there for that fadeaway in the
Yeah.
back of the end zone. That's for sure. All right. This is the next matchup we'll get into. We got Georgia State traveling to Harrisonburg,
Ooh,
Virginia
look
at
to play
that
the 6-2 Dukes of JMU. Yeah, 16.5 point. This one, gosh, I don't know though. This is kind of like that same thing. It's like, you know, what's Georgia State done to Vanderbilt? Yeah, they've lost a couple games.
Right.
UConn's a pretty good team, so no shame in losing to UConn.
Right.
I think you could have beat that team from watching that game. You had a few too many mistakes down the stretch. And we're chasing some points where you had to put yourself in some bad predicaments, but it looks like they settled for a field goal there. Still a backup kicker, by the way.
Yeah.
Still got starting kicker out for App.
There's time. There's time.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
They go to commercial, so we can jump fully into this and really focus on it. Yeah, you said it's a big spread. And would you stay away from it, or you actually feel comfortable in this one?
I don't know, man. The Sun Belt is so difficult to predict. ESPN knows something that we don't know, and we've been wrong multiple times. I'm staying away from that spread. 16 just seems like a lot, or I guess in this case 17.
Yeah,
seems like a lot.
I think you also, again, former player, you have a different outlook than me. But to me, when you have a bye week, it's hard to maybe get right back into that rhythm. Now you're playing at home, so that probably helps that instead of playing. You're not down in Atlanta. You're at your comfy confines, if you will, there at Bridgeforth Stadium, but. Do you think like a slow start's possible, and then Georgia State could jump out kind of early, and then they're kind of battling back? Yeah. Not necessarily where it's worrisome, but maybe at halftime it's still a real close game.
Yeah, now that is predictable.
Okay.
That can absolutely happen. Bye week certainly can help or hurt. In most cases for us, when I played, it always helped.
Okay.
You get a week off,
rest up.
Yeah, you rest up. You get a chance to kind of put the blinders on. Take some time off, watch everybody else play.
Yeah.
Right. See what you got going on. So, obviously I'm taking JMU, but I don't know if I'm doing it by 17.
Yeah.
And
also we got to remember too, that this is the line early.
Right.
We still got a couple days. These things will move.
Yep.
But I would venture a guess that this one's probably not going to move a lot because of where the two teams are in the standings, right?
What Georgia State has done this year has not been great.
Right, yeah, especially lately, right? They started off hot. Everyone thought they were going to be, maybe phenomenal after beating Vanderbilt. Not really sure. I don't know if people thought about that the same way until Vanderbilt beat Alabama the very next week.
Exactly. Yep.
But, you were still thinking, okay, I don't know. I don't know what Vanderbilt is either. I mean, they've played some close. They played Texas really close, right? That was a 3-point game, or at least a touchdown game, right?
I can't remember exactly.
I want to say it was. I'm gonna look that up while we're talking about that, because that was a
but I mean, the Vanderbilt win is proving to be an impressive win.
Yeah, very much so.
So
Georgia Tech loss. At first I was like, it's the score was bad, but the game didn't look awful. But now that's not looking so great because Georgia Tech really
just ran all over them.
Yeah, they definitely did. Which the lines weren't surprising for that. Not the score lines. I'm talking about offensive and defensive line being pretty dominant for Georgia Tech.
Right.
What we had just watched them do to Florida State overseas in Dublin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was impressive showing for them, but they just haven't been able to keep that up.
Right.
I don't know if it's because they just were super pumped or what was going on that day, but they were ready for that game. Let's jump over to Vanderbilt. They played Texas within 3 points, 27-24.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there you go. Here's a game against Ball State, who hasn't been very good this year, and they only win 24-14.
It's just so odd. Yeah, they're jumping all around.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Lose to a Missouri team who has turned out not to be all that amazing.
You're right.
It's like you said, it's just really hard to predict that one there. Yeah, I don't know. My struggle with it is, coming off a bye like we've talked about, and then how they performed against Southern Miss, because I believe that was now JMU's last game before this one. So it wasn't overly impressive, not blown away. Are they kind of settling into this it's hard to say mediocrity. I mean, you look at a 6-2
Right.
record, but it is
Yeah.
only 2-2 within the conference itself. So, yeah, Southern Miss game was their last game. They still did score 32 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I might lean toward JMU covering because they're at home and they could maybe open it up in the second half a little bit more. But yeah, I think this one starts out pretty close there. What we got here?
Well, we got us a quick break. I am going to
Check
run
on
down
our
and grab some chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know how it's looking down there.
Oh,
Artie's got something
I can
to
tell
say.
you now, they're ready to come off.
Oh, yeah. Artie says Georgia State needs to remove those white stripes at the bottom of the pants and shoulder of jersey. Looks like a highway worker wearing reflective stripes. Well, since they are in Atlanta, a highway worker in Atlanta doing road work makes a lot of sense.
It absolutely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're always going to have road work going on in that Atlanta area.
There's always something going on any road in Atlanta. There's always going to be traffic.
Yes, there is. Around here too.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much.
And
It's got a little
Atlanta,
bit more
for
spread
a
out.
6-lane highway, is the most backed up traffic I've ever seen in my entire life. I used
That's
to live
true.
in Suwanee, Georgia, and I used to have to go into Atlanta pretty regularly during the week. And it was the worst traffic I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
I can't. Whenever I've been down there, like even on the outskirts of Atlanta now, it's getting really bad. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got.
And smell the chicken.
Wow.
Is it looking good down there?
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Looks like checking in on this game. 4th and 6 for the Shants. For those watching at home.
Nice little
Probably-
crisp to these wings.
Yeah. My clothes are going to smell like a girl tomorrow, but that's okay with me.
So it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm willing to make for you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get these bad boys off. Get them upstairs.
Wonder if Ben's still with us. Dominic says Nashville traffic ain't much better. Yeah, I can imagine. And yeah, Artie jumping in here too. Houston traffic is apocalyptic. I've heard that. Have you been to Houston?
I have not, but I've heard the traffic there. It's awful.
Yeah, same here. It is something I have heard many times. Oh yeah.
Boys
Get in
and
here.
girls, take a look. Wow. They got a nice golden color on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, grab yourself one. They're hot now.
Oh, they are hot.
Get your,
Oh
get
yeah.
your napkin, get you set up. So you don't burn your fingertips off.
Yeah, we're starting to. I won't lie. I'm like,
They're literally just coming up. So
yeah, I might let this cool for just a second.
Yeah.
I'll let you take first bite. You don't burn your mouth, and maybe I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Not too hot.
that'll work.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
All right, let's do it.
Not
Let's
too
do
bad.
it.
It's a good wing.
Oh yeah.
Shot was done, boys and girls.
Crispy, without being burnt.
Right.
That's not easy to do from experience.
Took me a while to master it because
Yeah.
wings, I mean, it's not something that you typically smoke for a long time, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you just practice literally has gotten you better
That's
at
it. That's it. That's all you. I mean, that's all you can do is practice. You got to find your right temperature. For me, it's always been 300 for
Okay.
about an hour and a half,
All right.
and it comes out like this. Now, also the type of smoker you use matters, right? Some smokers don't give as much of a bark. Like these have a pretty good bark on them because of the type of smoker that I'm using. I'm using a Masterbuilt. No free ads. But using a Masterbuilt, I've got pit boss down there. I've also got a char griller. I've got a couple different apparatuses down there, if you will. And not all of them get the same color or same crisp. So, which depends on what you're using.
Oh yeah. See that there?
Yeah. No burn.
No burn at all.
Hour and
Nice
a
and
half,
crispy.
300 degrees.
What kind of prep goes before that point?
So what I typically like to do is I take the chicken, obviously you wash the chicken off and do your pre stuff, and then unseasoned, I stick it in the fridge for a couple hours. What the refrigerator does is it dehydrates, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know it dehydrates that skin. Right? So the crisp you're talking about,
Yep.
that comes from the dehydration of the skin. You get you get wet chicken,
Yeah.
soggy skin. That's no good for. It ends up chewy. That's no good for anybody.
And your seasoning like doesn't even stick real well, right?
Exactly. Part 2 to that, to get some crispy skin, is I also, as a binder, I use an oil base, right? So whether that's grapeseed oil, whatever oil you want to use, anything that's a high smoke point oil, right?
Okay.
Coated in oil, it does 2 things. Number 1,
Are y'all taking notes, by the way? You need to write this down.
crisps up the skin. Number 1. Number 2, seasoning sticks really well. You can taste the flavor.
Yeah,
of it, right?
absolutely.
Flavor hadn't left at all.
No.
Right. And so, that does a couple different things for you. So you dry your skin out. Step 1, dry your skin out, put it in the fridge, a couple hours, at least an hour for sure. I did mine for, I think, 3 hours today. Dehydrate that skin. Second step, coat it in oil. Third step, season. Let it rest after you season for at least 30 minutes. Get your grill hot, get your smoker hot, let it rest for a little while. And then, then throw it on. For me, like I said, my go-to is 300, hour and a half. And you've got boom.
You've got a gone wing. That's what you got. You saw what it looked like before.
I'm gonna jump in here.
I'm not the person that can like do the whole like put it all in your mouth and pull it off.
I
also want to savor it. I'm not the type that's trying to chug those things. Already saying it looks delicious. Puts my hot dogs in water to boil this shit.
Listen, I'm not above a hot dog in the boiled water.
No, I'll crush a hot dog. I was gonna bring something over and talk about a little funny joke. Say, TJ asked me to bring the weenies, but I refrained from doing that for the benefit of everybody.
Also, pause.
Yeah. Pause. Yeah. Oh, I'm grabbing another one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just you and me, and it's about 20 wings. So, eat up.
True. Yeah, we put his son to bed already. He was out here trying to learn all this stuff. He was going to be our producer soon.
Yeah, I know, right? We also caught him dancing on camera. So, there's that.
We told him he was on TV, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. 17-3. Just outside the 5. Ooh, it's not a flag, is it?
No, he's open
in the area.
That ball was tipped anyway.
So what while we're waiting to see if they get in the end zone, what other things are your favorite to do? You have some favorites? Ribs?
100%. Ribs is my favorite thing in the world to cook. And it's all the way even down to the prep. So what I like to do is I like to get a full spare rib rack. I prefer spare ribs to baby backs. More meat.
Okay.
And it's cheaper. All right.
A fan of that.
Yeah.
Both of that.
Right. I cut the rib tip off. I shape it up, kind of like a Kansas City.
Okay.
And once I get the get it trimmed the way I want to trim. Now the key to that, to having it cook evenly, there's a couple bones on the end that the meat gets real thin. You've seen the spare rib before.
Yep.
Gets real thin at the end. Cut that off.
I may be eating a couple in my day.
Right.
Cut
that off.
Okay.
Don't throw it away.
Gotcha.
Cut it off.
Okay.
Just cook it separately.
Oh, okay.
Right. Also, don't cut the rib tips off either. Cook that separately as well. Makes for some good appetizers later on. Shape it up how you want it, and then season it down real good. Some people use a mustard binder. Some people use, I always use just a cooking oil binder, high smoke point. Let it rest for a little while on a wire rack. Get it on the smoker. There's a lot of methods to cooking.
Right.
A lot of methods to cooking. People use a 3-2-1 method. Some people go no wrap. Some people go high heat, hot and fast. It just depends on what you like, right?
Usually I've done high heat and it doesn't work out for me because I burn everything.
Yeah, high heat.
That's a skill.
If you're Russian, don't do high heat. And if you're Russian, do high heat, but you got to make sure
you got to know what you're doing.
What you've done before matches. Most people, they maybe stick it in the oven or something before that. So, but yeah, ribs by far. I do a couple hours. Every hour I'm spritzing. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, spritzing a little apple cider vinegar, apple juice mixture.
Okay.
A little spritz. And then from there, I get a nice little wrap, butter down, honey. What do I do? Butter, honey, get a little wrap going. I use butcher paper. I don't use aluminum foil. Some people use aluminum foil.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Butcher to me preserves the bark better.
Okay.
And it absorbs the moisture a lot better.
Interesting.
So then I take it out of that paper, sauce it up, let it go for another hour or so, let it tack up real good, and then flip it over, chop them up, slice them down, and we're good to go. So a good rib to me, no less than 4 hours.
Okay, so it's
A
taking
good
a while.
rib. Yeah. You can't rush perfection.
Right.
And something like a rib, I'd rather just wait.
Right.
I'm not going to rush it. If I don't have time to cook them, I just won't cook them.
Right. You don't want to be pulling off the bone.
There we go. I told you this could look
right.
very different.
Yep. Too early to celebrate, Coastal fans. Too early to celebrate. But we'll see. Still long game. We will get to the A-State preview. Yeah, it was almost halftime here.
Here we actually, that's next.
Yeah, we had it up and eating chicken as long as App State plays. Yep. It does kind of go. It was just kind of what we decided on. But yeah, it works really well. So yeah, we could throw this preview up. I thought, because I went over to this other thing. That's why. I don't know why that one keeps wanting me to throw it on there. So yeah, A-State traveling on the road to Lafayette, Louisiana, taking on the #1 dog in all of the Sun Belt, and certainly over there on the west side at 7-1, 4-0 in conference. But we got Jalen Rayner, and we've got Big Ben James. Thinking the A-State Red Wolves here are going to do some damage, but spread doesn't think so.
Spread does not think so. I don't think it's going to be a 15-point spread. I think Louisiana is very good. And obviously, everyone thinks they're good. They play well.
Yeah.
But I just think Jalen Rayner is a really good quarterback. And his dual threat capabilities, right? I mean, what he can do with his feet, what he can do with his arm. And now he's not Peyton Manning, right? No one is. He's not going to dice you up for 250 and 3 tuds, right?
No.
But what he will do is he can throw for 150 and he can run for another 80.
Right.
And that could be a problem.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how you get the yards. Get them.
True.
You know, I mean, there's been games where Lamar Jackson has thrown for 149 yards, but he's also rushed for 112.
Yep.
And the yards are still the yards, right? So I think that matters, right? They're going to have with a quarterback like this, one of the things, and I don't know how much you guys know about defensive line pressure and rushing and how you rush to contain versus rushing to sack. Rushing a guy like this to make a sack is detrimental to your football team. You have to rush to stay level with the quarterback, right? You don't get far behind him. He can run up. He can step up in the pocket, take off. You don't get too far in front of him because then you give him alleyways to get outside of you. You stay even, right? It's hard to do because you, as a lineman, defensive lineman, you're trained get to the back or get to the quarterback or running back or whoever's back there. Right. So you got to rush to contain. Sacking should not be your #1 priority. And I think if the Cajuns get in that mindset, they'll win big, right? The spread will be fine if they can keep him in the pocket. He won't beat you from the pocket. Not that he can't,
right?
But I mean, against this football team, no.
Yeah.
So I
pull
think
that up while you're talking about that too. Actually,
yeah, I think the key to making this manageable for Arkansas State is if they can get Jalen Rayner out on the edge, a lot of RPOs, a lot of options. A lot of design quarterback runs, right? That's going to be key. That's going to be pivotal in Arkansas State having a chance. But to offset that, the Cajuns are going to have to play disciplined football. And yeah, like Ben just said, you know, if A-State plays how they did against South Alabama, they'll win. Yeah, I mean, that's the recipe. That's the formula.
Yeah.
Right. Got to get him outside of the pocket. Got to get him on some throws using his feet. Right. Give him some run pass options and let him make some plays with his legs. That said, though, like I talked about earlier, the Cajuns have a great defensive line.
Yeah.
And if they can play disciplined football, this might not be close.
True. I mean, you got to think about this. So I wanted to point out this because of what you had just said about Rayner, about not beating you as a pocket pass. Can. But let's hear why we think that's probably not going to be a lean in this matchup specifically. He's thrown 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
Right.
That's not a good ratio for you at this point of the season, especially. You need to be outpacing.
Now, how many rush touchdowns does he have?
Rushing touchdowns, he has 2.
Okay.
He is the 3rd leading rusher on the team with 250 yards, but 3.1 average. So he's not
lighting it up,
rushing it on that regard. But like you said, he can get out of the pocket. I mean, look at the picture here. He's getting out of the pocket.
Right. And if they can keep him from this being a staple or this being a picture, then you're talking about a big win.
Yeah.
Now, I think Louisiana's going to win no matter what. How they win or how big they win is going to be indicative of what they can do to stop Jalen Rader getting out on the edge. Again, rush to contain, don't rush to sack. If you get a sack, great.
Right.
That means
and they'll have some.
That means I'm sure they have. That means he ran into you, right? And coverage is playing great on the back end.
Yep.
But what you've got to make sure you do is you rush to contain and make sure that you keep him where you can see him, right? In other words, if I'm rushing and I've got you in front of me, my hand is on your pad. I got my outside arm free. There can never be a time if I'm a defensive end that my outside arm is not free. If my outside arm become pinned, he's going. He's out. He's out of the pocket.
Gotcha.
So, and that's going to be the key: rush to contain, and making sure you keep that outside leverage. And whoever has outside contain, whether it's defensive end, linebacker, whoever it is that they play, even if it's a corner or safety that's coming down, to make sure that run game is, they got to maintain outside leverage 100% of the time.
Nice. Yo. Let's see. Just over 2 minutes left.
Got to get a stop. Oh, God. Did he catch that?
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, he didn't. That was a great throw.
That was a good throw, a good attempt there. Already saying Lafayette can just use what the Bobcats did and then add some wrinkles to it. Yeah, Ben James saying A-State has players back healthy, which
they do.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a huge. I just don't know that it'll be enough.
True. Chris Howell, PhD. I don't know if he's officially a PhD. We'll see.
Where are you? Where are you, Chris? I am actually recruiting. PhD. I'm recruiting some MDs and some physicians. And
there you go.
Yeah. So if you know some people, let me know.
Yeah, hit us up in the DMs. My Red Wolves unlikely to win Saturday. Unfortunately, away team rarely wins in our series with ULL. A-State will put up points. Here's my problem with that. So we talked about Rayner, 7 to 6 touchdowns to interceptions. Ben Woolridge, 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. The guy might be the best quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah,
I'm not saying all the time, but right now,
yeah, he's gapping everybody.
Yeah, he's doing it, and also getting it done on the ground.
Punt.
He's got 5 rushing touchdowns. 5 rushing touchdowns to go with those 16 thrown.
Okay, so there you go. There's the difference.
Yeah, he's getting it done all the way around. Like you said, that defense looking really good. Here's one other thing I wanted to point out. The Cajuns, 2-1 at home. They did lose that game to Tulane.
Yeah.
The Red Wolves, 1-3 on the road so far this year. Not a huge thing, that always depends. But just like Chris had just said, playing on the road in this matchup specifically for whatever reason seems to be a big detriment.
Yeah.
It's not I don't think it's that crazy of a trip. Kind of straight down from Jonesboro to Louisiana.
Yeah,
but
it's just south, yeah.
I don't know. The series dates back to 1953. Yeah, I just don't see. I'd be more comfortable taking the Cajuns on the money line and not saying any point spread, because 15 is, I can just see something weird happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'd also be more comfortable saying under the 60.5 point total.
For sure.
With the defense there. And let's see, I just want to bring up A-State's last couple games because I'm unsure really what they did point-wise in the last few. That's really going to blow me away. Put up 34 on Troy, respectable. 44 on Southern Miss. Okay. Again, Southern Miss's defense is not the weak point, so that is an impressive total. And then they only put up 9 against Texas State, though. See, that's like, I'm only going to go back a couple games. We know the South Alabama game. That was a surprising defensive slugfest, 18-16 there with the Jaguars coming out on top. It's a rivalry, and nobody in the matchup likes anyone. Yeah, it's interesting. These aren't like, they're regional to some extent, but not enough. Or I don't know if anybody in the East realizes this is any kind of like bitter rivalry.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting take on that. But you had A-State as kind of the go-to football team in this conference. Right when App was coming in, they were still kind of at that point. And then the Cajuns came back around, and then App State and Georgia Southern,
and Troy,
and now we got JMU up there. So it's interesting. A-State's trying to get back to those days, and a win here would get them on top of the West, and maybe looking like a sudden very good favorite because they didn't have the tiebreaker over Louisiana too.
Exactly.
And all it takes is one game. Look, I mean, it feels like Louisiana is more than a couple games away from everybody. You know, it just feels
Right,
that way. 7-1 when you look at the record, 4-0, but then, you know, just one
And
game
this quality of
difference.
football.
Yeah.
I mean, what Louisiana's done quality of football wise has just been far and away better than what everybody else. And they've done it consistently.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. We talked about earlier, can you be good for a game or are you good? Right? Like, are you a good football team or are you good for 60 minutes? And that's the difference.
Yeah. It's very, very true. We're looking at it right now, right? Wait,
exactly.
This game, for some people, thought it looked over, but it's much too early.
Exactly.
One thing that I've noticed from just not even because of TJ, but like as I've gotten older, like in college, I was the same way, watching a game like 17-0 down. We lost.
Right.
We lost. It's over.
Yeah.
We can't do anything right. Let it play
out.
out.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it play out.
Let it play.
Then saying Louisiana is looking for revenge from last season. Yeah, I'm sure they are. That maybe a thing they hark on this one because I don't know what's going on with streaming to Facebook. Oh, someone else is streaming. That's why. Well, we dropped out on Football Dogs on that. But yeah, I mean, that is that's the full preview as it goes down here. We're going to see if App State can do anything to get out of their own end zone. Really, right? They're kind of, where are they at here?
Don't
just
do
in
that.
front of the 20, just outside the red zone. Or the opposite red zone that they want, right? Oh, yeah, we need to get back to these, these wings before they get cold on us.
Yeah.
Crunch away.
Although it is 65 degrees, so.
Yeah, they're not going to get
probably
too cold.
Not going to get that cold.
Already says, can Lafayette travel by boat? Well, they're not the ones that have to travel. It'll be the Red Wolves, but I bet
I'm sure if they would,
there,
they could. Or sure they could, they would.
I will say the last time I was down there was, well, it was for Sunbelt Media Days, and I went out to Lafayette at one point because they had a customer out there, and I did see 2 gators for the first time. I've been driving all around Louisiana the last couple of years for sales stuff on my full-time job, and had never seen one, but I saw one down in the swamp off the bridge. It's not much of a bridge. It's like a freaking highway that just stays above the swamp for that long stretch there between Baton Rouge and Lafayette. But then I saw a dead one on the side of the road, like a smaller one, not a big one. And I was like, man, that's the first time I've seen roadkill that's not like a deer or like a possum or a squirrel or something.
So, fun fact, where I'm from in Eastern North Carolina, we've got gators.
Really?
Yeah, right? Just right there, just hanging out. They'll just be right there at the end of the dock, or just they'll come out while you're fishing. Yeah. I mean, and they're usually not aggressive.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not risking it. They don't get as big as they get down in the bayou. Right. I mean, they're not 6, 7, 8 feet. I mean, we mostly got like 4 or 5 footers. The biggest I've seen is like 4.5 feet.
Seen anybody mess with one up close? Yeah, grabbing the tail and throwing them back in the water or something?
I've eaten a few, if that says anything.
Do you like gator? Because
absolutely.
I've had gator bites and I thought it was a little chewy for my liking, I would say.
It depends on how you cook and you brine them, right? If you brine them well enough, or here we go.
What a catch.
Did he hold on?
What a catch.
He did.
I will say this, as an average fan too, you can't see it from our vantage point, but if you're watching this as we stream here, the fact that App State's name is in yellow at the bottom of the screen, every time I'm just looking quick, it looks like there's a flag. I hate that. I mean, yellow stands out, so I see why they do it, but he's got to. So as a receiver, as a receiver, what you do on that play is you got to give your quarterback a better lane to throw the football, right? He's running down the numbers, which is great, and the quarterback did his job, which was throw him outside to the numbers. He's got to adjust, and he's got to make a better attempt at adjusting to that football. You got to know that the ball's coming, right? And so as a receiver, once you get on top of that DB, you've already won, right? So now you can adjust your route however you want. And if you're running down the numbers, don't stay down the numbers. Let the quarterback fade you out of bounds or fade you to the sideline. Right.
And that's what he didn't do. So that's wide receiver play 101. Here we go. Nice little screen.
Marshall.
Come on, stay on your feet. Go over the top of him.
Yeah.
What we got? A minute? How many timeouts? 2? Oh, we got.
There's going to be points on the board here unless they have a little turnover.
Yeah. We've got a lifetime. Timeout.
All right,
timeout.
Almost in field goal range.
Yep.
Maybe not quite. When they have that field goal line, let me ask you this: that's assuming that's where the ball needs to be snapped, or that's where the kicker's going
That's
to be
where the
kicking
kicker's
from?
good from.
Gotcha.
So, and they do that as based on what they see during
Warm-ups and stuff, historically.
Yeah.
All right, they saved the timeouts. Wow.
That's
I thought for
silly.
sure they were going to take one there, too.
I don't know why you wouldn't call a timeout.
Yeah, I still got a couple plays to 23 seconds. I think what you're saying there is Sean Clark saying he's okay with a field goal? Or,
That's what it looks like, and that's not okay.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because, I mean, we still got a whole second half of football to play.
Yeah.
And it was 40 seconds. So you've essentially let 17 seconds tick off the clock because that's not smart.
Oh, seeing that on the bottom line, Billy Napier continuing at Florida. Agree or disagree?
Artie Cat says, I'm not a fan of Gators at Southern Parks. Bison herd, as always, you can see them easily. Believe it or not, Camp Pendleton has buffalo. Oh, that's an animal I'm steering clear of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting no.
Would you eat buffalo?
Yeah, absolutely. I've eaten bison burgers.
Oh, yeah.
So why wouldn't I eat buffalo?
True. Ooh, that was almost a pick. That one wasn't a great throw.
No.
Double coverage.
Well, and I don't know what he thought was happening there. It was triple coverage, actually, because the safety came over the top.
Mm.
And if you're going to do that, throw it deep. Don't underthrow him, overthrow him.
Right.
So right now, what I'd run is I'd take my inside slot or my midway slot.
Got to protect him better than that, right? I mean, he had to rush that throw at that point.
Yeah. Give him better time. I mean, I'd run. The problem with these routes are that there's no concept to them. It's down the middle of the field. Like, look at this.
Also, could he have stepped up in the pocket there and done himself a little bit of a favor? Looks like
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at it from our vantage point.
True. Yeah. You one of your timeouts is almost useless now. Right?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Unless you just don't want to rush your field goal.
And why are we going for it on 4th and 10?
I guess he's in no man's land. Is that what he's saying? He doesn't want to punt. He's not going to kick from that far. I will say, seeing him kick, the backup kicker.
Yeah, but that's a microcosm of not calling a timeout with 40 seconds left.
Oh no, I don't disagree with that at all.
But these are reasons why people get irritated with Sean Clark, because that's just no brain. You and I knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody watching us right now knows that.
Yeah. Also, flats or drums?
It's all chicken. I'm gonna eat it. It's all part of it. I never understood the war between drums and flats. I'm gonna eat it regardless, and it all tastes great dipped in ranch. So what are we doing?
It's true. Are you ranch over blue cheese?
Oh yeah.
We eat blue cheese?
I like blue cheese on my burgers, like blue cheese crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like a blue cheese burger, or like a black and blue.
Yep.
Something like that. But if I'm dipping, I will eat blue cheese.
Right.
If that's all that's available. But I prefer. I'm a ranch guy.
I'm with you on that. But I like blue cheese. I'll.
Yeah. I mean,
if there's both, I'll probably change it up.
That's what I'm saying. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Like what I do occasionally when I got some dry rub, like we're doing now.
Yeah.
Take a little hot sauce and put it in my ranch.
Yep.
Get a little razzle dazzle.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
I don't understand why we're doing this.
Let's see if it works out. I don't like it already. Oh. Got the feet set. Ooh, not even close.
That's just not smart, man. That's just not smart. Worst case scenario, kick the field goal from there. It takes the same amount of time off the clock.
Yep.
And they got the ball from the same spot. You're giving yourself no chance from here for any point. I mean, at least kick the field goal. If he misses it, then oh well. Then you at least tried.
He was just hoping Jackson got off that block.
These are reasons why Sean Clark is not going to make it, man. It's those kinds of decisions. Maybe you don't trust.
Let's be fair too. That's not even a tough decision, right?
No, it's not difficult at all. I just don't get that.
No.
But I am impressed by the fight that we've shown, right? And how well they've come back and made this a second half. We'll get some exciting football here.
We might finally get a good midweek Sunbelt game. We haven't had one yet.
Yeah, so we'll see.
We are ready for one. But
that's a good picture.
It was a good picture. Yeah, when you sent me that one, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to put that one on. What are you holding? That's ribs and...
That's ribs and chicken breast. Chicken breast for my wife. My wife does not eat pork ribs.
What?
I don't get it.
I'll take her half whenever
I know. She won't eat them. She won't eat them. But more for me.
Missing out.
More for me and my neighbor, because he will eat them.
I can see why. Oh man, it probably is from the GJ Canning playbook.
Mm-hmm.
They are similar in that regard. Oh man. Well, we'll take this wherever people want to go from here. We've got a little halftime, and then we'll see if we run it all in the second half, to be honest with you, because, we can take the mics off and eat without upsetting Ben any further.
I know, right? God forbid Ben gets upset that we're chewing with our mouths open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Certainly appreciate you guys tuning in for sure.
Yeah.
Especially live from my back patio. Or back deck. I guess deck if it's upstairs. Patio if it's downstairs.
True, yeah, I guess that's a good point. But you have both, so you really can't be wrong.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't know the setup. He showed it to me, and I said, oh, man, we can work with that.
Yeah.
The only downside was the grill was being downstairs, and I knew we had to kind of get the lesser camera on that. So, unfortunately, like I said, we'll do this again when we got some sunshine and daylight, and you'll all be able to see a whole lot better. But I think we got a good lighting situation up here for a nighttime look. Got the nice TV outside here. This is all outside. The nice thing is screened in porch. I guess you guys can see that over there on that
Keep the skeeters off you.
Yeah.
I did have, so I'm an idiot, guys and gals. I told you I feed the deer and the birds and the squirrel and all that kind of stuff. Had some bird feed on my back porch.
Uh-oh.
We patched them up. Birds would just come in and just bust holes through my screen. I went out to feed the birds one time, and I realized that the bag had a hole in it. I was like, what the hell's going on?
It was in here.
Yeah. I left it right over here in the corner. And then I realized, like, mosquitoes was getting in. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, there's a reason we screened this in.
Right.
And then I look, and there's, like, you can see holes, like, whether it's squirrels, whatever it is, climbed up here. And I'm like, I'm an idiot. Why would I keep it out here? Yeah, that's just, so if you got a screen in back porch, do not keep your bird feed on your back deck.
Yeah. Apparently they are gung-ho for it.
Yeah.
My in-laws have a grill up on their deck. Nothing really food-wise otherwise.
Yeah.
And squirrels got up there and they got into the drip tray.
Yeah.
And they start chewing on cushions for the wicker stuff and everything. It's like,
make them a little bed. Yeah, that's what they do.
Oh man, it's insane. I'm like,
I would have brought the smoker up here, but it would have just been way too much smoke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be different if we were grilling versus smoking.
Yeah.
That wood and that burn. I mean, we'd have smoked this out with no. Now I did do that once up here when it wasn't screened in. Surprisingly, the screen, because it's so the holes are so tiny, it holds a lot of the smoke in.
That makes sense.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Talking about, that's a game. That's a big one. I think I'll be talking about that one on the game day show this weekend, actually.
And then Alabama, LSU's at 7 Saturday night. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Squirrel on the grill could be tasty with the rub.
I've actually eaten squirrel.
Have you?
It is delicious.
Is it?
Yeah. I've eaten a lot of small animals. When I was young and dumb, we used to take, because again, I'm a country boy.
Yeah.
We used to take BB guns, and we used to shoot little birds out the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Pluck their feathers and just throw them on the grill.
Were any of them good?
No. No. They were not good. We should not have been eating them. We should not have been eating them, man. They were not good. You didn't do any crows, did you? No, no, I don't think we did.
Okay.
No. But yeah, little, like, I don't know, just little birds. And take them, gut them, peel the feathers off, just throw them on the grill and eat them. Our parents obviously weren't home because they would have told us better than this. And we did it, and it was not good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Sure. No. I did it one time, and that was it. But yeah, don't do that, guys.
Yeah, don't shoot birds. Yeah. Don't eat them.
But I've eaten raccoon,
turkey. Oh, really?
Yeah, I've smoked a rabbit. Yeah.
What was rabbit like? I've heard good things.
So it is good. It's better in like stews and slow cooks.
Oh yeah. Like, I've heard rabbit stew. Yeah.
Well, and because they have so much muscle. Like rabbits, they almost have no fat at all.
Right.
So you gotta it was a whole lot of butter that I used to soften it up in the smoker. because it'll get dry on you. It'll get dry on you. It turned out pretty good though.
Yeah.
Flavor wise, it's amazing, but you got to slow cook it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's better in like crock pots or like something in the oven with some potatoes, carrots. Make a stew out of it. Yeah. But it's
Like back in their natural environment.
yeah. You are what you eat.
Yeah. There you go.
That sounds awful. That sounds like a murderer.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I hope nobody's vegan on the line.
Yeah. If they're vegan, they hopefully tuned out a long time ago. Probably should have just gone away from the thumbnail that we put
Yeah.
up. But Artie said he's stoked to see us together in person. Happy birthday to all Marines this Sunday.
Absolutely.
And then happy Veterans Day. Yeah, my father being a Marine, I didn't even time it purposely. But he was in town to go to the game last week, which was Heroes Day at App State.
Oh
which was
wow!
cool.
How about that?
I've taken him to that on purpose in the past.
Right. This time.
This time it was just
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, you want to come down? We're gonna have
Yeah.
some extra tickets because my wife and son aren't gonna go. So he jumps over there. We end up getting the North End Zone tickets.
Nice.
So yeah, it all worked out really, really well, and it was an enjoyable game. Unless you were an ODU fan, of which I will not be apologizing for.
Yeah.
It's all fair in love and war.
That is a fact.
And so yeah, absolutely. Semper Fi for those Marines out there, and
Absolutely. I've
happy
got
Veterans
several
Day.
uncles that are in the Marine Corps. So yeah, happy birthday to you guys.
And you had your dad was
No.
No.
Granddad Navy.
Granddad. Okay.
Brother Navy, and then other granddad Marine Corps, like 5 uncles Marine Corps.
Is that
And then-
why one reason why your family lived out towards the coast?
No.
No?
That's just
Okay, that's
that's just where I was
Okay.
born and raised. But my granddad moved over a whole lot. Quantico, he was in Okinawa.
okay. I was born. I didn't tell you that I was born there.
Okinawa?
Yep.
How about that?
Japanese, not really.
Not really.
I was born on a military base, so I don't have any like green card. I don't speak any Japanese.
Right.
I was born in Okinawa, Japan,
How about that?
because my dad was a Marine stationed over there, and my mom went with him.
Yeah.
I also climbed Mount Fuji without stepping foot because I was in my mom's belly.
Nice.
So
Nice.
claim
Look at
to
that.
fame for me.
Yeah.
Never been back. Never
Yeah.
been back. Never been to Japan since then.
Never been to where your roots are?
Nope. That was the funniest thing though. As a kid, people would say, "Oh, you go around the room and say where you're born or whatever," and it was always like, "Oh, you know Japanese." It's just like,
I did not.
no, I don't
I do
know any of
not.
Japanese.
I do not know Japanese.
My parents never learned any Japanese.
Yeah.
My dad will sometimes answer the phone and say "mushi mushi," which
Yeah.
apparently is their way of kind of like
Okay.
answering the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means truly translated. But yeah, now he's got me saying it like to my son and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'll say it to him sometimes to
Yeah.
catch him off guard because
Right.
he ain't usually ready for it. But
Nice.
yeah, that's cool. I didn't know you had so many in your family. That
Yeah,
were,
lot.
I know you had told me about your granddad before.
Yeah.
But I didn't know so many others were on there.
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
my dad, my aunt, which is his sister, and my uncle, which is I think mostly it.
Yeah.
All the kids didn't really get involved. I thought about it. I was close.
Yeah.
But never did it.
Nice. Well, happy birthday to you guys. For
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And Neil is saying dove and quail are the way to go. Yeah, you ever had dove or
I
quail?
have not. Have
Okay.
not heard good things, but I have not eaten duck, eaten obviously any kind of chicken.
Oh yeah.
Duck, chicken. I mean, what kind of poultry have I had? Or birds? Other than the random birds when I was little. Won't
Yeah.
do that again.
Do you do anything fancy with turkeys? You like do
Yeah,
the- okay.
Yeah. I smoke a
Oh yeah.
yeah, I can do a mean smoked turkey, spatchcock and or whole. But I love a spatchcock turkey.
So you're the guy everyone's like asking
Oh,
you what you're doing for Thanksgiving.
So last year I sold like 8 turkeys. on
Dang.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. I had all the smokers back here running, all of them. There was no, I didn't think I was gonna get done in time.
Oh really?
I had to cook them all at the same because people want them like hot.
All the same day.
Yeah,
because
they want them
yeah.
hot, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it like an idiot. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. Sure. Yeah, I got 2 turkeys on one. Another, and it's like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But it worked out. So made a pretty penny.
Yeah. If I was local,
People
I'd
pay
be
a lot.
I'd probably yeah. I
for
was gonna
smoked
say
turkey. So
that would be a smoked turkey.
yeah, people pay a couple $100 for a good smoked turkey.
Dang.
Yeah.
I should
So
have.
it's about like it was a $1,000 day. I'll say that.
Nice. It's more than this podcast has ever brought in by $1,000. Oh, Artie says I should have hit a karate pose after that. Yeah, I actually took karate for a little bit as a kid, but that
did
also
too,
didn't
yeah.
didn't stick. The chickens of the sky. Duck is okay. So Artie's
Yeah.
had some duck too. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had duck.
The thing with duck is that I can just eat so much of it
Okay.
because they're so small.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably not a ton of meat.
Yeah,
that
it's
come
not
off
a
of 'em.
lot. So I mean, you need like 5 or 6 ducks if you got a couple grown men eating duck.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
You didn't have any like geese. You never had goose or.
No.
Okay.
But I heard it was good.
I was gonna say that was it the oh man, Christmas Story. They had
Okay.
the goose on the
Yeah, yeah.
Chinese
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
I just didn't know maybe if you had one somewhere
I
else
have not,
too.
no. There's not a lot of geese in Eastern North Carolina.
Nah.
Well, I guess there's some. They just don't come out.
and
where I
they're
am.
probably not
Now-
allowed to be eaten.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Wild turkeys are outstanding.
Oh,
We had a lot of them, and there's actually some back here.
really?
They come out a lot, especially when it's cold out. Wild turkeys come out. When we first moved in, we had like 20 in our backyard.
Dang.
Not even joking. I'm not even exaggerating that number.
Yeah.
It's probably more, and they just were all in the backyard because they weren't used to us being there, like houses being here.
Right.
These houses were put here, and so
Yeah, are they still building some now? Or is
they're
that-
done on my street.
Okay.
The other side, I think there's like 3 or 4 more, and then they're out of the neighborhood completely. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, you're tired of that, especially working from home,
Yeah, it's so loud.
Yeah,
Like I
all
can't
the
even
time.
work with my window open.
which you could have done today. I actually probably wouldn't have because it would have been too warm.
Yeah, it was definitely. I had to turn the AC on at
Yeah.
like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I was in the living room last night, fell asleep on the couch wicked early.
Yeah,
You know, some late nights catch up to you.
absolutely.
And I woke up and I went and moved into the bedroom and have a little tiny bedside fan.
Mhm.
And I was like, nah, I got to turn that regular
Yeah.
fan on
Yeah.
top because it
Mhm.
wasn't hot, but it was like, all right, it could be stuffy if no
yeah,
movement goes
it's
through
gonna
here.
get worse. Yeah,
Yeah, which Artie's probably dealing with every day when he's down there in Texas.
yeah.
You could probably blast the AC and you still wake up like sweating
right.
down there
Right.
under the covers. You just sleep on top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah,
but-
looks like we've lost our crowd. So
Yeah. I think we could probably wrap this up. We'll go and enjoy the rest of the food. We do want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in. We try something new. We will continue to try some new things and some different things along the way. Some things maybe we shoot and
Yeah.
then put on later, so it's not a live
Sure,
show.
yeah, yeah.
This one was a little different because we tried to get some of the game aspect and talk that with the people as we went along. So we definitely enjoy everybody tuning in and commenting along the way. And we will see you guys on the weekly. I'll just do that again. The weekly wrap-up show probably Sunday evening. So thanks again for tuning in, and certainly thanks to TJ for cooking
Absolutely.
us some great food. And maybe next time some of y'all can come over and enjoy it with us. Just a couple airline flights and
yeah, no big deal.
expensive tickets, whatever. We ain't fronting that, by the way. That's not a podcast deal.
Yeah.
But we will see you guys on the next one.